And we welcome you back to Marathon Stadium in Newcastle. It's Balmain and Newcastle. The Tigers in front by 2. There's the half-time stats there, Pete.
Yeah, Balmain started this game at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but it's fair to say that the longer the half went, the more ball Newcastle got and the better they controlled it. Tremendous work handling error-wise from both of these teams. In these conditions, only 6 between them. That's really outstanding. One line break from each team. Now, that looks a little bit funny when you consider there's 14 missed tackles from either side. But that means that the men on either side of the person who's missed the tackle has done a great job of cleaning up. And a great difference between the sides, and that's reflected on the scoreboard.
As the Knights came back in the latter stages of the first half, a very good try, and there's 2 points in it. And that crowd, I can assure you, was very wet earlier this evening. That unbelievable electrical storm. They sat through it and have enjoyed the football since it went away. Balmain with their new sponsor. As we mentioned earlier, Newcastle, one of only 2 teams without a major sponsor. Western Suburbs the only one. And we're underway in the 3rd quarter. Balmain leads by 2. Rasher bringing the football back almost to the 30-metre mark.
Let's just have a look at the set of 6 here from the Balmain side. Shortly they'll get their forwards involved. They'll get bodies in motion either side. That's Sirinen bumping off Crow. Now as they go to centre field, they'll get action going both sides. It's Edmed. No mistakes. They've taken it out 40 metres now and done it fairly comfortably. And then centre field, Wood gets the kick in and he places it fairly well. I'm surprised that O'Davis allowed that to go into touch. He had time.
One player who's not out there tonight is Harrigan. Paul Harrigan, he's down sideline now with Steve Roach.
Yeah, I'm down here with the Chief knee surgery in the off-season. How's it coming along? When can we expect you back?
Yeah, I'm looking to play this weekend. It's been about 9 or 10 weeks now. It's coming a little bit slow. It's just the cartilage and a little bit of arthritis, but it's taking a little bit longer, and I'm kind of glad now I didn't play this week or today because it's a bit slippery and it's only early.
Kangaroo year, mate. You wouldn't want to get off to a slow start.
Exactly. Like everyone's jumped out of the box, so to speak, and I'm still waiting to start. So hopefully I'll be right for the weekend and I'll be starting the competition fully fit and ready to go because it is an important year.
A bit of an ordinary start for Newcastle Knights. Have they got a bit of a roll on?
Yeah, well, Balmain just completed 10 consecutive sets, I believe, so that's awesome. So we're very lucky we scored that last try to put us in the start. That's very hard to defend against.
Well, thanks for your time, Chief. It's good to talk to someone on eye level, mate.
Yeah, it's good.
Good
Thanks,
on you, mate.
See you, mate.
Good on your block. Now the Tigers 30 metres out from the Newcastle line. Dyer, who took a heavy knock in the first half, was down and out for a short time. He seems to be okay. Here's Edmed. Carries the football inside the quarter. 5 tackles gone for Balmain. Dyer surrendering possession, and the Knights come up with it. To 6. Balmain lead Newcastle. Kent brings it up, but the Knights come up with a penalty.
Well, I guess by that shot there, it means that the referees are happy with the microphones on the sideline to be utilised in this second half. As I mentioned earlier in the telecast, for the first half of this game, that wasn't the case. The referee sporting the plug in the ear, so that will be back in action. And there you can see it there on the flag of the touch judge.
And again, Newcastle surrendering possession early in the tackle count. As light rain starts to fall again here at the stadium. I assure you it's absolutely nothing compared to what it was earlier in the night. You may have seen it. If you did, you know what I mean. Just inside the Newcastle half. And again, surrendering possession. G. Connell is the player who Gave it back to Newcastle. And here's Tracy. Sargent. Ryanville. 5 tackles gone. Rodwell off a Balmain player. Rodwell picks it up again. Newcastle keep the football alive. Glanville has given it away. Picked up by Godden. And that'll be a turnover.
Yeah, Newcastle were claiming that it had been touched by the Balmain player when Rodwell towed the ball through. The referee didn't signal that way. It actually hit Edmed, but he didn't play at it. Neither did Sirinen. You'll see in the background the referee puts the hand up to signal it is the last tackle. In their effort to keep the ball alive, it came undone, and a Balmain feed.
So the Tigers in possession. That football wasn't played. Sirinen takes it up.
That's one thing I've noticed tonight, Ian. If the referee was going to penalise the players for not touching the football with their foot, we would have had 100 penalties tonight.
Salah. This is the last tackle for Balmain. David Smith. Brought down by Burke. And Brasher as well. Davis. Ainscough, the try scorer for the Knights. 5 short of the halfway mark. Tracy. That's just inside Balmain territory. Crow. 5 tackles used up now by the Knights. Rodwell. Down for Edwards. Takes it well. No pressure.
Yeah, big kick there. He gave it plenty of air, but far too long. And a very simple take there from Morgan Edwards. Look at this, it's huge. But no chance of any Newcastle defence getting there.
In the second half, Newcastle do have the luxury of having the breeze behind them. It has swirled around constantly tonight, but it looks like it might have settled down to be an advantage for Newcastle in this second half. And again, the kicking game of Matthew Rodwell will be under the microscope as to how effective it's going to prove.
Balmain have used up 5. And Wood sends it down for O'Davis. Back on his own 10-metre mark. And Tim Brasher seemed to have his hands all over O'Davis's face.
That's a dumb play. Balmain looking to put some pressure on Newcastle down in near their own quarter. When he dropped all around tonight there, he's given him a bit of a facial and helped himself up. The pressure's off Newcastle now, out around their 40-metre zone.
And Sargent takes it up for the Knights. McCormick selects Crow. Now it's Marquette. 40 out from the Balmain line. Tigers lead by 2. Davis. There goes McCormick.
Mark Guy's just come in for 3 separate shoulder charges in that one set of play, and he hasn't connected with either of them, or any of them.
Andrew Johns sends this up, and Edwards has made a mess of it. Fortunately for him, one of his mates was there to clean it up. David Ronson.
Might have been only 2 charges. Paul, that'd make it either, wouldn't it?
That'd be right, but Lucky that Dave Ronson was back here to save this try. There's plenty of Newcastle players looking to jump on that one. Well, Balmain have got the pressure on them now. They lead 8 points to 6.
The goal line drop out for David Smith. Carries it to the 30-metre line. Rodwell gives it away to Madison. Andrew Johns. McCormick dummy half for Rodwell. Keeping the football alive with a nice pass, but it goes to the ground as David Smith tried to pick it up.
And there's one of those plays that they were famous for the last couple of years. Bit of a cutout, or a couple of cutouts here. Watch Madison go through. They're behind the play ball now. Not a bad play, but on a night like tonight, with the conditions they are, that was going to be a miracle to have any chance to work.
Wood to work the scrum for Balmain. And Burke. Edwards. Munro. Here's Edmed. And the crowd thought it might have been a touch forward. Elias turns O'Davis around. He's back on his own 10-metre line. Carries it to about 25 out. Barnes. Nathan Barnes. Crow.
The former Penrith player Nathan Barnes, very quick man. Same with the Newcastle Knights for this season. And Newcastle, for mine, just starting to get the ascendancy. Starting to get on a good roll now, and that's a great charge from Sargent on the last.
So they're getting the ascendancy mainly because they've had just about all the ball in this third quarter. Balmain haven't held it at all. They've been trapped in their own half. Will this go dead? No, Edwards forced to kick it dead. So here's another big set coming up for the Knights as they search for a try to take them to the lead.
Gee, I can't believe that Jamie Ainscough was able to get down there that quickly and stay outside the 10-metre area from that kick. I think he was in front of the kicker myself.
By about 10.
And the goal line drop out from Balmain. They certainly have to absorb some pressure in the last few moments. Here come the Knights again. Crow lines up.
He's been very good, Steve Crow. Well, he was until that big hit on him. He's had plenty of charges up there and kept coming back for more. Took a little while before we see him again. It looked like a cork thigh from that one. Pretty heavy contact.
David Smith playing it on the quarter line. John's involved, but Balmain come up with it. And not only do they come up with it, but they start to run the football as Baysari makes the break. Brings it back towards the halfway mark for the Tigers. Here's Elias. Under unload, couldn't do it. Right on the halfway mark. Edmed. Bronson.